President. Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning to the people of the territory. Good morning to the testifiers and staff. As it relates to 35-0212, the dock. If there's a hurricane, I noted there was a discussion about it being able to be removed and put back. What are the potential environmental impact of having to do so, or is it minimal?
Good morning. Thank you, Senator Halliger. The potential impacts are very minimal for the removal and replacement should there be a storm. Consider Dorian in August of 2019 when it came from the south side. Okay. That would trigger a removal and storage of the equipment and a replacement once conditions have returned to normal. But impact-wise, actually would be beneficial to have it removed before the storm.
Yes, it would be. And cleanup-wise, with boats coming, oil, how is that usually dealt with?
So with that situation, so in the site visit, when we snorkeled the area, we did find some actual debris from storms within the general area, not necessarily in the very specific area, but there were parts of old boats, furniture, roofing material that were in there. In fact, we had that removed, though, thankfully, through a grant through the Marine Debris Program. So we had some...
So you guys periodically go in and check the area?
And have a look. We don't always have the funding to remove them, but we do try.
Well, I appreciate you looking and picking up what you can. I want to get to 350233, variance for the cars. I know the ask was initially commercial, but DPNR is suggesting a use variance. Does anyone has a problem with that, or are they okay with it?
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. My clients are very modest people. They'll take anything you give them.
Well, listen,
so they could legitimately operate.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that they want to come online with the legitimacy, and I will happily support a variance. Okay.
Well, I'd like to make a comment.
Oh, of course.
In addition to that, two of the most competent people in government, I could attest to that. Two people sitting there, Ms. Laplace Matthews and Mr. Hebert. But in this one, I believe that DPNR erred. And the reason I'm saying this, you are talking about prime property. Prime property. We have a terrible shortage of affordable apartments. Let's say down the road, this family wants
I appreciate it, but I am limited on time. So I'm going to vote for it, but for the variance. Okay?
Yeah, okay, fine. Mr. Chair.
Well, I don't know if Mr. Chair will allow you to do it on his time.
Yeah, sorry, it's the Senator's time.
I'm kind of worried about running out of mine.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you. I want to discuss 350234. I like the idea. What is the time frame of having this built, and what is the preparation for potentially impacting those around you to make sure that it's minimal during the construction period if this passes?
Good afternoon, Senator. We hired a local architect firm that's going to be designing that whatever that we need to do, they're under recommendation, of course, with DPNR and CZM. I don't believe that we fall on the CZM, but we're with DPNR before we get the permits. All necessary mitigations will be in place prior to that, and I'm pretty sure DPNR will have a slew of things for us to really deal with.
Okay. And in regards to leasing properties around, all of that is set, so you'll be able to go ahead once or if this is approved? Yes,
the property is leased. We do have have a lease in place from the government of the Virgin Islands. Yes, we do.
You're just trying to change. Okay.
We're not trying to change, but what I need is a variance
Yes.
because we have under I2,
I2.
we are able to go ahead and do the distribution center on the bottom floor as well as the Mo's at one of the Mo's locations on a smaller scale. And what we're asking for is for the variance on the second and third floor to construct the hotel.
Excellent.
1 minute.
Thank you for sharing that. Bill 350235. This project, what was the motivation for mixed use, specifically in this area?
I'd like to defer to Akeem and Rasha Harris to answer that question. They are the principals.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning still. Yes, good morning. What the picture doesn't show is that we have more land around the parcel that we're requesting the rezoning, that we are doing the single-family homes as originally intended. So even though the change that we're asking for is one parcel, we own a total of 4 parcels in that whole area. So we wanted to introduce the concept of the live, work, play, so that when you're living in that community and you want to work, you can just walk to work. You want a coffee, we'll have a little coffee shop, for example, things like that, so that it can be a contained community that can
A mini all-inclusive community.
correct, as
Okay.
well as bring about.
Time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Could I just wrap up? Well, I want to appreciate everyone for explaining their aspect of it. I do support all of these suggestions. I know Mr. David wanted to expound a little bit on his thought process, and I'm sure he could do that on the chair's time. So thank you very much for the additional time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Senator Francis Halliger.
Ooh, listen, that's jealousy right there. Because I am all for Queen Alma Drive, okay? But, there's Miss Mango Avenue, Miller Street, Anansi Drive. We could go down the whole list. I could name all the streets in a day if y'all really want.
That would help out immensely.
I got that skill. But I really do appreciate the effort that you guys are making to make this happen. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I get a little jealous if I have to travel outside of the territory and I'm seeing everybody have their streets done. You're using the GPS, and I know sometimes when even myself have to try to find something here, I have attempted to try our GPS system here locally just to see if it works. And sometimes I'm not ashamed to say I just go around in circles because it's kind of difficult when you hit certain areas. So I could definitely see the benefit of this happening, specifically just not only for the locals, but even for visitors alike. Have you guys in this process literally identified every single road in the territory and you're gradually mapping out? Or you have a specific set and you add as you might stumble along, some as you go along?
So again, this is Chris George, project manager. This is another GIS question. So as far as the GIS mapping component, that is done. So we have internally mapped out every road in the territory. The addressing component and the naming component, those are the missing pieces. So we know where every road is, but we don't have a name for it and the addressing that is implemented on top of it.
I understand that. And when you said you guys were at the final phase, give us a timeline of that final phase. Like, do you have an idea of how long this last phase is going to be?
We're hoping around 18 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. And approximately how many more names do you need based on your calculations to complete this project? Because, you're asking us to help participate. Like I said, I am all for Queen Alma Drive.
30 seconds.
And it's not about me. We have several Almas in the community. Doesn't have to be about me. But I'm saying, how many names do you honestly think you need?
I'd say currently, if I were to put the territory all in one bucket, we'd probably need about, say, of 100%, 60% of the roads in the territory are named. If we were looking at island by island, St. John is the one that has the most names.
Okay.
St. Croix next in line, and then St. Thomas after that. So St. Croix and St. John have been a pleasure to work on with this project. So we do need to work on the St. Thomas aspect and finalizing whatever streets is needed in St. John. So a big part of the media push and campaign is talking to the communities, getting these banners out saying, this road doesn't have a name. Can you give us a call? We'll work with you to go through the process.
So about 40%
Need names.
names
Yes, yes.
is still needed.
Yes.
Okay.
But we want to get through, whatever is, we're trying to grasp the lowest hanging fruit, as we go along.
Okay. Okay. Well, Heiliger Avenue is also an option, but I'm just teasing. But thank you, Mr. Chair, for the additional time. And whatever we have to do as a body, I'm sure will help support to make this happen because it is important to our people in this territory. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator Francis Heiliger. One of my colleague from St. John said that to make sure that we're